Hey, Coach. Trevor Woods, Mason Brew. I think you'd agree that one of the great things about football is the continuous change, the continuous evolution each year, each game. With that said, this is a new year, a new Michigan football team. When you wake up in the morning and go to work, what gets you excited about the 2018 version of your Michigan Wolverines?
Well, first of all, just what gets me the most excited is having a season to gear up for. And that's pretty consistent with most of the people I talk to, whether it's high school players or coaches, college players, coaches, pro players, coaches. Just very excited at this point and thankful to have a season to gear up for. I've also talked to some other players or coaches that don't have a season to gear up for this year, and it's sad, but also feel very good that I have a season to gear up for. So chomping at the bit, ready to go, Trevor.
Take our next question right down in front of us on the other side of the aisle.
Jim Adam Biggers, Great Lakes Divide. A lot of turnover, I guess, in the offensive coaching. I mean, you've had Jed in there, Ed Warner this year, Greg Fry, run game coordinators, tight end coordinators. How close are you guys, continuity-wise, to really just nailing down the offensive side? The defensive side is there. How close are you guys to just nailing down the offensive side coaching-wise?
Right. Great collaboration. I think that's what we were striving for with our offensive coaching staff, and great additions. Jim McElwain's been a great addition. Ed Warner's been a great addition. Sharon Moore has been a great addition. Jay Harbaugh back is doing a very good job. Pep Hamilton doing a great job. We feel like we got a lot of good football minds, guys that are passionate about ball, and also collaborating and working very well together. Also added Ron Prince, who has been a real blessing having him on the staff. Brandon Blaney, Ben McDaniels, Roy Roundtree, Patrick Kugler, also graduate assistant, Alfonso Smith, and Tanner Engstrand, who was the offensive coordinator at USD last year. So, and it's been tremendous collaboration. It needs to be. When you have that many good coaches, you need to draw from as many or all as you can.
How confident are you this year knowing that you have some pieces there? Because your first 3 years has been kind of I don't want to call it a revolving door, but I mean, there's been yearly turnover. How close do you feel that you are right now this season to having the offensive staff?
Feel good about it, Adam. Yeah.
Take our next question all the way in the back, Coach, in the left.
Connor O'Gara, Saturday Tradition. Coach, I've been asking other Big Ten coaches about, right over here in the back.
Where?
Right over here.
Where's right over here?
Our left, all the way in the back.
I'll stand up for you.
Okay.
I've been asking other Big Ten coaches about just their overall thoughts on the effectiveness of the playoff system now that we've had 4 years to sort of digest this. Just what are your thoughts on just the effectiveness that you've seen?
The thoughts on the playoff system, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is more would be more. More would be better. In the playoffs, 4 in right now. Let's go to 8 and eventually get to 16.
Coach, we'll take our next question on our right here in the second row in front.
Dan Hope from 11 Warriors. Michigan hasn't beaten Ohio State in 6 seasons. How much do you hear about that, and how much pressure do you feel to change that this year?
Yeah, we feel like just improvement. We need to improve, and that'll lead to success. It'll lead to championships. That's simple.
Coach, we'll go all the way on our left here in the middle of the room.
Coach Crowley Sullivan, Spartans Wire. A little bit of a follow-up on that question. You came into Ann Arbor with perhaps the most hype of any coach in the history of the Big Ten, maybe in all of college football. A few years later, you've got a third place, and fourth place finish, and you're 1-5 against Michigan State and Ohio State. What do you have to do this year to demonstrate to the Michigan community that you are on the path to achieving what they hired you to achieve?
Well, the improvement will lead to success, will lead to championships.
We'll take our next question, Coach, right here on our right, second row, all in the end.
Hey, Coach, over here.
Where?
Over here.
Our right, Coach.
Paul M. Banks, thesportsbank.net. In past years, you've visited the soccer teams that have played in the big house. When they've had these big games, you've done some promotional events with them. Do you have plans to go to the game this week or to do any kind of visiting with the teams, anything like that coming up?
Yeah, really would love to see it. So plan on going to the game, and each year I've made it a point to go over and talk to the players and coaches. You know, I know they're busy too, but it's always good, inspiring, and you always learn a couple things, which is good. Yeah, we're excited to have them.
Coach, we'll take our next question all the way on our left on the end with Tim.
Tim May, Columbus Dispatch. Hi, Coach. I was wondering, what has Ed Warner specifically brought to the program from your vantage point? And then another question I'd like to ask is, from a quarterback situation, is that an open book right now for you? Is Shea Patterson a leader, as some people seem to assume? Just where do you stand in that situation?
Well, Ed has done a tremendous job. He's really brought a lot of enthusiasm, wealth of knowledge, tremendous experience with coaching in the Big Ten, and just a good dude. Really good to work with. He's been fantastic. We enjoy watching tape with him. Enjoy talking football with him. Enjoy watching him coach, and I think that's been a really good thing for us. Quarterback's position, don't have any announcements to make today about that.
Coach, we'll go all the way to our right here on the edge with Teddy.
Hey, Jim. Teddy Greenstein from the Chicago Tribune. Any
Teddy.
concerns with if you went to 8 or 16-team playoff? It would water down the regular season, and is there a limit to how many games college football players should play in one season?
Well, I mean, the 1AA teams have been very successful at that model. I think if my math is right now, if you go play all the way through a national championship game, that would be 15 games. And, through a 16-team playoff, that would be 16 games, right, under the current model. You'd probably take away the championship, the league championship game, would eliminate that one. And, so then it could be, it'd be 16 games, but only the two teams playing in the national championship would play that many games. That's kind of my thought about the amount of games that you would play. I mean, most teams would still play 13.
Okay, Coach, we'll come right down here on the corner.
Steve Kornacki, mgoblue.com. How you doing, Jim?
Good, Steve.
Could you talk about Chase Winovich and how you've seen him evolve as a player and maybe specifically how he's gotten better going into this season?
Yeah, well, the first thing that comes to mind with Chase is, the incredible work ethic that he has, the great effort that he always plays with. A lot of people talk about the motor that he has, and that's a great analogy. I mean, he's always playing all out, and the talent has really gone up and up each year. Really finding his position, which is defensive end, has been great for his career and for our football team. He was a linebacker. Then, we could see the speed that he had, and we're playing him at tight end some, and then he went to defensive end. Was playing some defensive end on the scout team, and really was tough to block. And from that point on, he just developed a love and passion for playing the defensive end position, and he's great at it. I think he'd also be a tremendous stand-up outside backer. I mean, he'll be a true prototype 3-4 outside backer and a nickel defensive end pass rusher. He'll bring a lot of value, at the next level, the pro level, as well as the college level. I'm really exciting for his season, praying for all good things to come his way this season, and pulling hard for him. He's a Go Blue guy all the way. Enthusiasm and energy is infectious in a real positive way, productive way for our football team.
Coach will come right back down directly in front.
Coach, I was talking to Brady Quinn a little bit ago. He thinks quarterback Shea Patterson could be become one of the best pure passers in college football. And I know it's a meritocracy. There's a competition that needs to unfold in August. You got Dylan McCaffrey, Joe Milton, some other guys. Just curious what that quarterback room's like and what you're thinking of it as we sit here in July.
Sure. So, it was very valuable. Shea Patterson went through all of spring practice with our team, and got great work in there. Played really well. Brandon Peters, was also improved this spring. Dylan McCaffrey probably had made the most improvement of any quarterback on our roster. Joe Milton came in and was a mid-year, so participated in spring practice as well and did very well. I think he's got a very, very bright future. And Michael Sessa has done a fantastic job. Buck West moved over from safety and receiver. Now he's going to play both quarterback and receiver. And that's been our quarterback room. And I would say overall it's better as a group than where we were last year. And I feel like our starting quarterback, will also be better, play better. And so that's how I would evaluate the room.
Coach will come right back down in front here across the aisle.
Jim, your thoughts on with Karan being on the Doak Walker watch list? I mean, there's Miles Sanders from Penn State, J.K. Dobbins from Ohio State, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. What are your thoughts just on the not only Karan's improvement, but just the overall complexion of running backs in the Big Ten?
There's always been a great tradition of great running backs in the Big Ten. Always has, is, and probably always will be. Karan Higdon is an outstanding football player. I always think of Karan and Chris Evans. Karan Higdon and Chris Evans, like they're both great. They're both really, really good players, and that bodes really well for our football team. Both have really come into leadership roles on our team as the way it's developed over the last 9 months. And that's also a really good team because they've embraced those roles. It's important to them. And, it's important to each of them how they play, but it's also, you see them working with the younger backs. And we've got some talented younger backs. And it's nice to see that those guys, Chris Evans in particular, grabs guys and goes over pass protections with them. Always see Karan, putting his arm around a younger back or player and talking to them, motivating them, teaching them. So can't say enough good things about Karan Higdon or Chris Evans, both.
Coach will go to the left side of the room, toward the back, directly under that light.
Chris Solari with the Detroit Free Press. Jim, wanted to get your opinion on the talk of the day about the potential for an injury report or availability report, and then also with the gambling aspect that's been allowed. How do you view that, and how do you teach that to your players in your program?
As far as gambling, don't gamble, don't associate with gamblers, avoid it like the plague. Don't walk away from that run. Had a very dear friend, Jim Bees, who passed away in the He's passed away, but great businessman. He owned muffler shops, and he would talk about, hey, Jim, what do you think about this investment here? He goes, I wouldn't walk away from that investment. I'd run. It's always stuck with me. That'd be the same advice I'd give players as it relates to gambling in any form or fashion.
And for the injury report,
Injury report?
obviously, you've obviously dealt with that at the pro level, which not a lot of college coaches have dealt with.
Yeah, be fine with that. Want to do an injury report? We can do an injury report.